Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is August Rose Crothers. I'm an author, poet, content creator, and I am documenting my journey of becoming an author on social media. Today I'm going to be telling you guys books that have changed me as a writer. And so if you like videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. So let's just jump right into it.
These are books of a few different genres that I've read over the years that have either pushed me to be a writer, helped me explore different tropes or themes,
or genres as a writer, and even books that have changed me as a person as well. To be a great writer is to be a great reader.
Reading is so important, and it is probably one of my biggest writing advice is to just always be reading. It'll give you motivation, it'll give you inspiration, and it'll help you become a better writer.
So jumping right into it, I'm just going to talk about one of the first books that pushed me to be a writer and one of the first books that I really truly fell deeply into. And that is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I hope I'm saying that name right. I read this book, this exact copy too, in my senior year of high school. We read it in English class together, and I had a pretty hard life growing up. I didn't have a very normal childhood, and this book was the first book where I truly felt like I could relate to a book in terms of what it felt to go through emotional grief and turmoil. And being able to write such horrible themes, but in such a beautiful, delicate way, definitely changed me as a person. It made me fall back in love with reading, and it pushed me to be a better writer. In 8th and 9th grade, I went through this phase where I read every single Nicholas Sparks book ever. And I was super into that kind of romance. And then I want to say about 10th grade, I just fell off of reading. I really wasn't reading anything at all. But then senior year, when I came across The Kite Runner and we read it in English class, I just fell in love. So the next book that really inspired me as a writer is the OG Sex and the City. Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell. This is a series of her actual columns that she wrote when she was living in New York as a writer. It is, of course, the collection that the show is based off of, which the Sex and the City original show is one of my favorite shows of all time. I have watched it probably 100 times. I don't consider it, and just like that, canon, but that's a conversation for another day. I do like the movies though, and I think the show is a really good adaptation, and not adaptation, it's a good version of this collection because it really expands onto it. This collection is really just a bunch of different columns. I started reading this when I was about 19. After I had already seen the show, I wanted to read the book. Didn't realize that it was completely different. But when I read this book, I just loved it so much. And this book is what inspired me to write my romantic novella, Tinder Tales. When I was writing it, again, I had much heavy inspiration from Sex and the City. And I really wanted it to become this modern day Sex and the City with a bunch of different small plots and characters and romances that just move really quickly. And I wanted it to be fun and sexy with a little bit of heart. Much like the show, but with the same kind of formatting as the book. So as some of you guys know, I am a poet. I have 2 poetry collections available on Amazon, Little Black Book, a collection of poems, and Visions of Deja Reeve, which just recently came out. And poetry is just so near and dear to my heart. And I have to say, and I have to admit that the first poetry collection I ever read was Milk and Honey from Ruby Kaur. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But that's not the collection that has inspired me that I'm going to be talking about right now. The collection I'm going to be talking about right now is Dirty Pretty Things by Michael Faudet. My copy is being borrowed by a friend right now, so I'm just going to show the other books I have. I actually have 3 more of his books, but these are the next 2 in the series. As you can see from the tags, I love his work, and his work is so inspiring to me. I love the rawness, the vulnerability, the playfulness, and how it can get very steamy and sexy, but still with a beautiful, powerful message in his prose. And every time I'm in a poetry slump, I just return back to these books and I look at all the things that I have tagged, trying to find inspiration.
In life, you always want to continue learning. I think that's a lesson that I've learned over the years, is that it's never too late to learn something new, and it's never too late to really add to your skill set or add to your knowledge.
And so the next book I'm going to be talking about is this book, Writing Poetry to Save Your Life. This book, even though it's not a collection of poetry, has helped me learn how to be a better poet. Wait a second. I just realized this. So I bought this book. I bought this used one off of Amazon probably like 6 or 7 years ago, and I loved it because it really helped me hone in on my poetry skills and helped me branch out and try writing different themes and different styles. But I don't know if I realized this before, but this is a signed copy, like to somebody, and I didn't even realize. That's interesting that I've had this book for years and it never clicked in my mind that this was a signed copy for a specific reader. But whatever, we got a little sidetracked. But this book helped me grow as a writer and discover writing new themes and new topics. The next book is a book that I actually DNF'd because it was just so emotional. This book is Trauma. And for that, I pray that they never do a movie adaptation, and I will never be finishing this book. But I did get 300 pages in, and then as you can see from the tags, this book gave me a lot of inspiration, specifically for my work in progress fiction novel that I'm doing right now, because the first 300 pages of A Little Life, they're really, the author is really just delving into the different characters and what their backgrounds are. And that's why I have so many tags, is because I really love the way the author originally did that. It made the characters feel so three-dimensional. But then I got to a certain point where they changed the way the story is being kind of told, and then it's just from the main character's point of view. And honestly, I lost interest because it felt like the characters that I was already getting to know were just being pushed off to the side. So I have a lot of issues with this book. I have a lot of issues with this book. Would I recommend this book to somebody? Maybe. If you have a lot of like unresolved trauma, I would not recommend this book. Next book is going to be a fluffy romance book. It's going to be You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This is a friends to lovers fluffy romance. It's a modern day When Harry Met Sally. It follows these two friends over the course of many years of their friendship and how they fall in love. And the reason I say this book kind of changed me as a writer is because it made me fall in love with the friends to lovers plot. It's helped me with one of my current projects, and it's inspiring me for the project that I plan on writing after I finish my current projects. And finally, I have a memoir on this list. It's called My Wife Said You May Want to Marry Me. It's by Jason B. Rosenthal. I found this book just browsing in Target when I was 21. And I was in a big reading slump at this point in my life for like a good year, where I think I read maybe 3 or 4 books that whole year. I just really wasn't into it. But I found this book in Target. It's a really short book, but it's super packed. Before the pandemic started, and I kind of just spent the pandemic reading it, and it took me longer than it should have for only being like 200 pages to read this book because it was just so emotional and heady-hitting. Jason B. Rosenthal, this is his memoir about his wife. The title again is My Wife Said You May Want to Marry Me. Basically, his wife has cancer and she's really, really sick, and she knows she's going to pass away. So the book not only delves into how they got together when she was healthy and their life raising kids and having kids and working, but then it delves into when she gets sick and when she knows she's going to pass away. So basically, his wife, who was a children's book author, Amy, she wrote a New York Times article called like You May Want to Marry My Husband or something like that, and it published in the New York Times, and it was really popular. And then she died 10 days later from cancer. And so this book, My Wife Said You May Want to Marry Me, is his memoir and his dedication to her and their romance and their life. And this book changed me.
It changed my expectations in dating. It changed the way that I look at love, life, death, grief, even though I had already experienced those things at the time of reading this.
But it also just changed the way that I want to write romance as an author. But I literally can't even put into words right now, and I have notes, and I don't even think I want to look at them. I literally cannot put into words right now how much this book has changed me. So those are my books that have helped me as a writer and changed me as a person. Those are some of my favorite books in the whole world. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said earlier, if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more. And feel free to let me know in the comments down below what books have changed you as an author or as a person. Thank you guys for watching.